Yeah, she does this a lot.
Got somewhere more private?
We have another missing person.
Oh?
Yeah.
Couple of days, and we're out of here. I promise.
I am your grandfather's little sister.
Walter, this is my Aunt Margaret.
Jesus Christ.
Careful, don't touch anything.
Well, Edmund won't mind.
Please, let me go.
Mom,
Yeah.
I heard a scream.
Maybe if we show them what life is like here, they'll want to stay.
I had no idea any of this stuff was in here. Ow.
Do not wait out.
He never made a call to his friends. He just never showed up at their motel. Disappeared.
What the hell is going on down there?
What have you done now? Something right out of a fairy tale.
Or the Bible.
What could happen in a place called Wineville?
The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television, the original broadcast date, December 15th, 2023. And yes, tonight is the last normal episode of 2023. We will throw together one more little holiday get-together for you, but no, this is it. We're ready for 2024. I am joined tonight by one of my newest co-hosts, Joanna Hochstetter. Hello, Joanna.
Hello, everybody.
And our guest tonight is the lovely, freakishly lovely Brande Roderick.
Hello.
And okay, everybody, I'll just go ahead. I'm gonna try not to be my normal misogynistic self tonight. Follow her on Facebook. It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Everybody, okay. Brande was the I think you produced it too, didn't you? But director and actor of Wineville. And to give you a little inside information, I don't even know if she knows this. Wineville was tied for the best feature film at the Scarefest Film Festival until the tie-breaking vote.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
who was the time vote? Because I want to call them up and give them a peace of mind.
I think, well, okay, I'll just tell you that the Booth brothers beat you out, and they're the Scarefest favorites, and I think it was all political. That's the only thing I can come up with. Let's see. Before we get started with the interview, I want to tell everybody, of course, in honor of her appearance, the movie is set in 1978, so I've got my 70s hair going tonight. Total late 70s hair. And that's just where I want to start the interview, believe it or not. Why was this done as a period piece? I didn't see anything in it that you couldn't have set it in 2015. And other than the cool outfits and a couple of nice cars, I saw no reason to do that. Why was that choice made?
Well, when we originally wrote the script, it wasn't set in 1978. And when we gave it to somebody who's very big in the horror film world, very well respected, read it and said, guys, this should be set in the 70s. Like, it just really gives off that vibe, the 70s horror film vibe of Texas Chainsaw and House on the Left and, all of the above. And then we thought about it, like, wow, that would be so cool. That would be great to do something different and not just a typical horror film. This would add another element to what we wanted to do. And so I went back and I calculated everything, see how expensive would it be to really make this a period piece. And I felt that it was doable. So we went ahead and did it. So that way we had something even more special. We tried to do so many different things to make it a very special horror film. And that was one of the things.
I mean, okay, you had some really tacky 70s outfits in it. I'll just come out and say, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. It was really, really cool. But they were, everybody, it was, well, okay, just dig through your grandmother's photos, and that's what she was wearing. It was very, very authentic, and you had to dig out a couple of cars. I guess other than getting rid of cell phones, what allowances did you have to make?
Well, as you saw, the cars, right? So all the cars, we had a lot of cars in there. We had 4 or 5 cars we had to come up with. So that, and then of course the wardrobe, and then all of the sets, the decor. We had to make sure, like, even a thermostat on a wall had to either be taken off or covered up. Like, there is so much to it that you would not even think. We had, in post-production, we had to spend money to have our visual effects artist take out a fire hydrant off the wall because it wasn't a fire hydrant from the 70s. There's just so many things that you would not even think about.
Well, you're right, because I wouldn't have thought of it, because my house hasn't really been updated since like 1950. In other words, my house probably is not modern enough to do in this 70s movie. So okay, Joanne, I'm gonna toss it over to you because now I've embarrassed myself.
Oh no, I thought it was great. So, Brande, thank you so much for being with us. Totally appreciate it. But I just wanted to start by saying I think it is so cool that such a beautiful woman is not afraid to express all these frightening images and the depravity and everything. And you made art out of it. So I kudos for you. I love seeing that.
Thank you.
So very awesome. So I read your director's statement and I loved it. And I really love the memory that you have with your mother watching, horror movies, having popcorn. And then now that you're a mom, you realize maybe that wasn't the best movie, I'm going to watch with my kids. But I was wondering if you've made any like similar memories, maybe with more appropriate horror, like PG-13 movies with your kids, if you've been able to do that.
I think that they are starting to be at the age where we could do that. So it's funny because a couple weeks ago, well, what we did at Halloween, we started watching all the Jasons, the Friday the 13th. So, and what I didn't realize is that they were the TV version. And so we're like watching it, and we get through the first one. I go, guys, I don't remember it being like that. I mean, it was really scary. And then when I come to find out it was the TV version, so they took out like everything. So they're like, Mom, that wasn't scary at all. So finally on the second one, we got the regular version and it was a little more exciting, But it was just kind of funny because I was just like, I remember Jason, I remember it being way more scary than this.
Right.
But now, they're at the age now where we're able to, start watching things like that.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another part of your the director's statement is you know, I was reading about, you know, the character Tess, you know, you didn't firsthand experience, I was relieved that you didn't experience the abuse and everything that she did. I know, I was like, oh my gosh. And I got to that part and I was like, okay, I'm so grateful that did not happen to you. But I was kind of wondering, where did that fit in? Like, where did the inspiration for all of, you know, the depravity and all that sadistic part come in?
That's a good question. When Richard, the writer, and I started coming up with the story, we just kept going back and forth and started out, you know, with the story from the beginning and how this happened and how that happened. And it just kind of evolved. Like, if somebody's going to be so effed up, like something really effed up would have to have happened to them as a child, I feel like. So we really kind of just it started out like we wanted to have like an inbred kid, you know, like it's just when, like Hills Have Eyes, or you know, any of these films where you have like these inbreds, they're always like kind of crazy. So that was kind of like the first idea. But then when we came up with the idea, we're like, no, he should be inbred, but he should be really charming, you know, like not like a crazy guy from Hills Has Eyes. You know, and just kind of make him really charming. And I don't know, we just kept spitballing and rolling it into this and rolling it into that. And that's kind of how the whole thing got created. However, I will say, there was possibly a family up in Northern California where the daughter had a baby by her dad. That's someone that we may have known of. So it's like a story that's, I don't want to say real, but could be real, if you know what I mean, because I heard that this had happened to this family in a town that we knew of. So that could have been in the back of my mind, remembering that.
Okay.
They weren't murderers, though, by but you know, in the backwoods of, you know, up north, things can happen.
Oh, indeed. Yikes. Yeah. And real quick, I did want to give a shout. I know Wes already spoke about the cars, and, you know, I live in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and we're home of the Corvette. That is our, you know, prize jewel. So I was like, you know, we all get excited when we see the Corvette. But, you know, you know, finally I can ask somebody behind the scenes, where do these awesome cars come from? Like, there are a few good ones in there.
Your Corvette was actually the writer's, Richard Shankman's. He, you know, and he was also my mentor. He's an amazing director. He helped produce the movie, you know, he wrote the movie, but that was his car. So we got to use that. And then the Firebird, where all the group of people come rolling up, that was my boyfriend's car. The truck we rented from somebody. And then the big sedan that the lawyer drove was a friend of ours. So it was just, you know, we just started collecting, you know, from first and foremost from people we knew, and then we rented stuff as needed. But we just got lucky that we know people that have old classic cars.
Oh, super awesome! Definitely worked out well.
Yeah, definitely. So, good stuff.
All right, Wes, is it about time for me to kick it back over to you?
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Horror. Movies. Fans. For. Life. On Facebook. Find us. For watch parties. For news. For memes. For friends. For life. Horror movie fans for life. Join us.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. We're talking to Brande Roderick tonight. She was the director, and she acted in and produced, and just pretty much threw the whole damn thing together, of Wineville, which was one of our feature films from Scarefest 2023. Now, okay, typical question for this show. What drew you individually, to the horror genre?
Well, my mom, like I was just talking about Joanna, we've been watching horror films together since I was 6 years old. So it's her favorite genre. She's read every single Stephen King novel you can imagine. She's watched every horror film. So it just became a natural love that I also had and shared with her. So, and I've done a handful of horror films throughout my career and fell in love with it. And it was just something that naturally came, that when I wanted to produce a film, it was going to be horror. And it was just a blast. So much fun. Now,
this is another thing. A lot of our viewers may not have caught it. I don't know if you paid attention. But now you also had a nomination. Now, you weren't a tie, but you did have a nomination for Best Kill. 5 minutes into the movie, that first gutting, I'm trying not to drop spoilers, but trust me, everybody, 5 minutes in. And there was that one, and then later on, it wasn't actually a kill, but when the carcass was ran through the wine processor,
yeah,
that was rather imaginative. Was that something, not knowing anything about independent films, whose idea was it to do those kills that way? Tell me about, okay, let's start with the first one, the gutting scene. The special effects on that were just top notch. I mean, did you have someone who came in and said, oh yeah, I can gut her. I can gut her good. How does it work?
I mean, we had Vince, and oh my gosh, she's going to kill me for not remembering his last name. But he is a practical effects guy. His company has done like the biggest films of all time. And he's a friend of mine, and he worked on a couple other horror films with me. So when I asked him, can you come on my film to give me the bro deal, like, come on. So I got this, multi-million-dollar film job for my tiny little independent film, done in just this quality job. And he did an amazing job in all the practical effects. So the stabbing, the, like the grinding, the, well, I don't want to give away too much, but the thing with the nipple and all the things, like he did all that.
Now, I did want to ask you, on the grinding, was that written in the script, or was it like you showed up at the winery and said, oh, look, that looks vicious?
Well, that's how it all happened, because what we had first was the location. So what Richard and I did was we went there a handful of times and walked the property and saw everything and got inspiration for the story. So that's kind of how it all went down. So when we saw that big thing, we're like, does this work? Can we turn this on? They're like, yeah, whatever you want to do. And we're like, oh yeah. Somebody's getting ground up in that.
It was convincing. I'll say that. It didn't even occur to me that the script was written for the location, because it's just not normally how it's done. The other thing I wanted to ask you about specifically, the fight scene.
Yes. Which one?
At the two dudes at the end, the sheriff and Joe, and it was a they live moment for the fans. It was, I mean, you didn't choreograph that, did you? That had the smell of a wrestler.
Again, I had Art Camacho, again, one of the top stunt coordinators in Hollywood, called in another favor, and he said, sure, Brande, I'll come help you. So he came in with his team. They took him, a few times, coordinated the whole scene, because you've seen, I mean, it's like a dance. It was
it was choreographed terrifically.
Oh, it was so good. So, so again, like getting this professional, like amazing person to come and do this for me was great. And they did a great job.
Well, pass on my kind words to him. Things about the movie just stood out to me. And those are 3 points that in particular for me really, really resonated, made the movie feel, it made it feel big budget.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Call in all the favors of a big budget film, but and I don't want to say like we were low budget or micro budget, but it wasn't a big budget, very big budget film. So
Okay. Joanna, back to you.
Right. So, in the scene where John is talking to Tess after eating dinner and having the wine, you guys are talking about the chicken coop murders. So, you're a native to California, correct, Randy?
Yes.
Okay. So I was like, oh, so when I first heard that, I was like, oh, it's an Easter egg. Oh my gosh, because those things really happen. And I was like, let me do a little research on that. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually called the Wineville chicken coop murders, and I had no idea. So did that inspire the title, the movie at all?
Definitely didn't inspire the movie. But I mean, so where we shot was Wineville Road at Galleon Winery. So it was on Wineville Road. The chicken coop murders happened on Wineville Road, just down the street. So that was all real. And back in, I don't know if you know the whole story, but it was back in the 1920s when the chicken coop murders happened, which was one serial killer who murdered a ton of kids and kept them in a chicken coop and would murder them one by one. The town was actually called Wineville back in the 1920s. And the town got such a bad rap and nobody can get over these chicken coop murders that they actually changed the name of the town. So now the name of the town is called Miraloma. But the original name of the town was Wineville, which is why we decided to bring it back to the original name, which was Wineville, and just kind of an homage to that, era, that time. The fact that we really did shoot on Wineville Road is kind of creepy.
Yes, I thought so too. I was like, oh wow, I was impressive.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I guess for people that haven't got the chance to catch it at a film festival or anything, are there plans for mass production, or how can other fans watch it maybe at home or at other venues?
Well, right now now that we've finished it and have done some of the film festival circuit, we have it out and we've got our offers in. We're waiting on a few more offers that's coming in, and then we're going to make our decision on where it's going to be at. So I would assume very soon, probably January, we'll be making our announcement on where you can watch it.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And then what other film fest has it been shown at or going to be shown at?
Well, we're done with film festivals because now we've got our, unless they want, whoever buys it wants to continue to do film festivals, then great. That would be a lot of fun. But the last one that we just got back from, the one that we did was Fort Lauderdale Film Festival, I think was the last one, and had a great time out there. And that was what was fun about that one, and getting in that festival was that that's a real mainstream festival. And the fact that us being a horror film got into a mainstream festival was pretty cool, because usually, festivals like that, pick like dramas and, serious films. So it was kind of exciting that they chose our film for that film festival.
That is really awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Wes, is it about that time?
It's good enough. Everybody, we'll be right back with more Scarefest TV.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Roomorg Magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subasati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
We're going live. And everybody, the Central Kentucky Mystical Market will be back in January 20th and 21st, Lexington's premier monthly psychic and holistic event, 1950 Newtown Pike, in the Clarion Hotel Conference Center. Check them out on Facebook. Look for Central Kentucky Mystical Market. And while I'm plugging stuff, don't forget about my little Patreon project. I am up to about 39 subscribers on Patreon. Basically, you're subsidizing my recovery from my heart attack. And once I get 50 subscribers, I will cut up my Camp Arawak t-shirt and do that cosplay authentically. Then yeah, we're done. That's it. That's all I had tonight. Scarefest. That's all. Patreon.com/Scarefest. Scarefest Radio. I didn't turn on the URL, as they say. Okay, Brande, talented, beautiful woman. Do you really sing that bad though?
Am I what?
Do you sing as bad in real life as you did in that scene in the movie?
Actually, I think that I probably sing worse in real life because I think that the sound guy even tweaked me to make me sound even just a little bit better because it was so bad.
Okay, well, fair enough. I thought it was a beautiful moment between you and your son, but it also.
And it was so natural and so easy to be able to do that scene because that's what he does to me all the time. If I'm having fun in the car, he's like, "Mom, really?" So it was like easy.
Now let's follow up on that. What was it like? Now, was this his first movie role?
It was his second. Yeah.
Okay.
He did a movie before.
What was it like? Not only acting with your son, but actually having to direct him and boss him around on set.
I mean, it was good. It was very natural. We had done it once before. We worked on the Christmas movie together. It was really weird doing a Christmas movie versus horror film, like complete contrast. But it was fun. It was natural. It was easy. He enjoyed it. He had fun. He was playing around, like playing football with Joe all the time on set, when in between takes, and no, it was good. We had a good time.
Okay, completely unrelated. What is your favorite horror movie? Softball question, underhand pitch.
Well, I mean, the one that has the most crazy fond memories in the sense that it scared the shit out of me, which Joanna's wearing the sweater, but Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember I was 13 years old when I saw it, and my girlfriend and I watched it, and we had to sleep on my parents' floor. And here I am, a 13-year-old teenager, and I still have to sleep on my parents' floor. So for me, that's like the best memories, just being so freaking scared shitless. I mean, I love so many. I mean, again, of course, The Exorcist, because that was my first. So I have those memories like, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, those are top two for sure.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah. Joanna.
Well, real quickly, I have a question for both. I don't know, one of you or both.
Well, here, go to camera 7 there. Ask away.
So what I would like to know, because this is your world and you are at these festivals, what makes a horror film a cult classic? Like, what is going to make, because when I was there, I saw like Sleepaway Camp, like that. Oh my God, I love Sleepaway Camp. So when I was on my 10th birthday, we watched that and we all slept outside in a tent. I was like, again, huge on horror films. So that was our thing. We watched Sleepaway Camp and it was like, oh my God, it's so crazy. And then we went out, slept in the tent, and my dad went out with a knife and was like shaking the tent and scaring us, and you know, the whole 9 yards. So, but anyway, back to what I was asking. I saw The Line with Sleepaway Camp and all these different films that I never would have thought was a cult classic. I never would have thought it was that popular, but all those films that I thought were smaller films, holy moly, they had so many followers and wanting autographs. So I'm just curious, is there like a magic formula that you've noticed?
I got no fucking clue. The reason I say that is Sleepaway Camp in particular, I have watched it twice. And I'm not saying, okay, it's campy, it's fun, but it's a completely different animal from, say, Friday the 13th or, you know, or Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. The only thing I can tell you is when you watch a horror movie, from my standpoint, if I watch it and I feel it, whether it's humorous, whether it's, you know, or it makes me, you know, tense up. Hellraiser is the first one I remember that really made my anus tighten up. I remember when I watched that movie, I went, wow, that's, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. I enjoyed the special effects. Honestly, Friday 13th movies never had any effect on me at all.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion, Joanna?
I feel like, the campiness is always important, but then also something that stands out, like with Sleepaway Camp, at the end, it's like, holy shit, it's a boy, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's always some type of twist or something in a lot of the cult classics that I've noticed, just something that makes them stand out from others, even no matter how cheesy or, you know, goofy they can be.
So would you think, like, for example, like the one of the things I'm so proud of that I love when people see my film is like, there's so many twists. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting this, you know, and I'm so glad that we were able to pull it off, because that's one thing I really wanted to pull off is the twists where you think it's going to be this, but it's really not. It's this person or this happened, and, you know, without, you know, giving away too much. That was one thing that I loved, that I'm hoping, like, well, maybe that will make it a cult classic.
Your movie, I know there was twice that I thought one thing and it was the complete opposite. And I know I'm trying not to give anything away, but I was like, oh, it's going to be this way. And then turns out it's not. And then it happened again another 30 minutes later. I'm like, oh, it's this person. Wow. So yeah, definitely you accomplished that incredibly.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing your movie lacked to become a cult classic is a memorable character that will keep people up nights. Because now, even if you go back to Sleepaway Camp, that last scene, she was not a memorable character until that last goddamn scene.
Well, you know, when you see a woman that has a penis and you know, and back then they didn't show stuff like that.
No, you're right. No, I'm saying that scene, well, pardon the expression, it popped.
Yeah. That's why they definitely shocked. Yeah. For sure. And that's one of the things I tried to accomplish also, was shocking, like in the scene with the two men, things that happened in that scene.
It was shocking.
Yeah, try you know, do things that maybe other people might not feel comfortable doing. I went all for it, and even the things, other content that happens that people maybe would be afraid to show. I made sure to show that.
You did, and now I asked you about this at the festival.
Yeah.
Neither of this. Everybody, I'm going to do this without spoilers, believe it or not. Neither of the scenes that we're describing by themselves, I mean, I can see where they could be off-putting to people, but they're shocking without being over the top.
Yeah.
This woman nested them. She took this freaky scene and stuck it in the middle of another freaky scene to explain why that scene was happening. And
right. Put it all out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but honestly, that was, other than that first kill, I really liked that first kill. That was one scene that stuck, but it wasn't the content of the two scenes. It was the way you did it. In other words, this shitty thing's happening, and the reason this shitty thing is happening is because this shitty thing happened.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I thought that was an interesting way to...
Yeah, I tried to do it tastefully because it is a sensitive subject.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm reading in the chat room.
Oh. That's Barbara. All right, because we're live, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we actually have a chat room and everything. Said that was Barbara. It says that. I'm not giving anything away here, but that damn nipple scene almost made me gag. I was like, damn, they went there. So.
We tried to always go there, so yeah. I'm glad it made her gag.
But okay, now back to the original question here, because okay, the most recent one that comes to mind, the Terrifier series.
Yeah.
Now that is resonating with horror fans for two reasons. Because the first one was made like on the guy's pocket money. In other words, it was
I don't know how he
low,
did it.
yeah, low budget, but it was done effectively. But he created, of course, that okay. What was it? All Hallows Eve, I think, is where the actual character was created. But that Art the Clown character, I mean, it's a creepy character. It was handled very well by David Howard Thornton. And okay, now the first movie, the upside down hacksaw, was it a hacksaw or was it a handsaw? But the saw scene.
I haven't seen it yet. So
you haven't seen it? You will love it. You will absolutely love that scene. You need to watch Terrifier 1. Terrifier 2, to me, it was good, but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the sequels are never usually as good as the first. So
And actually, honestly, it's one of those weird instances where the extra money they had for part 2, I think it showed they were trying to spend the money. There, I said it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll watch it tonight. I'll watch Terrifier tonight. Ooh.
Well, okay. You're in California or Nevada. I'm trying to see what time you'd have to go to bed. Because
I'll be in bed by 9. I'll watch it at 7. I'll be in bed by 9. It's all good.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
This, like I said, Catherine Corcoran's famous upside down hacksaw scene.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife went like this. Now, interestingly, my wife, who is not normally a big fan of horror movies, enjoyed the hell out of your movie. She was sitting there watching.
Oh, thank you, Catherine.
Now, I do think she covered her eyes during the gut scene.
Yeah.
And trying to remember I don't know if you were still in there when the little boy did his thing. Anyway, I don't want to give spoiler. People, it's a good movie, and we've talked about so you're trying to get it. Does it look like it'll be a hard copy situation, or does it look like it will be streaming on a major service? Can I ask that?
When you say hard copy or streaming, what do you mean? Just like
I mean, is it more likely to get a distribution deal where it's on somebody's table at the horror conventions? That's the routes I see these independent films go most of the time. They will either be on a DVD that you go up to so-and-so's distribution company and buy the DVD, or the lucky ones, and that's even arguable because according to who you talk to, they're on Tubi or whatever.
Yeah.
The money's in Netflix and Hulu, I guess.
Yeah, no, it'll be streaming and it'll be, and we're going to do an actual physical DVD as well. So no, it'll be both for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just learning about Tubi because I never really thought about it. But from what I understand, like everybody's going towards Tubi now. And I thought that was very interesting. I mean, you just have to watch a few ads, which whatever, you got to get up, you go to the bathroom, you get your snack, you're back and then you can finish watching. So I thought that was interesting. I'm hearing a lot more people are getting fed up with all the paid streaming services and now going towards Tubi. What do you think about that?
My personal opinion, like I have Netflix, paid wise. Okay, first of all, I got Disney Plus because I'm an Avengers fan. I love you horror fans, but sorry, love my superhero movies. Now, getting that out of the way, yes, I have Hulu and I have Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, if they don't quit buying every damn thing that comes out of India and Pakistan and
Thank you.
You know that, yes, and Asia. Oh my God. Just, you know, and I know I kind of wish there was a button, and I don't mean to sound whatever the word is when you don't want to do anything with other countries. But I'm not saying I don't want them available to me.
Yeah.
But have a button I can click where it says English, American,
or
whatever.
if it's dubbed. Yeah. Is this movie dubbed or not? That's
right.
what you need. That's all we need to know. Because I've done that so many times where I go, oh, what is this? And then picture looks good and everything. And when they do the trailer, they don't show their faces talking. So they get you. And then you turn it on and it's dubbed. And it's so frustrating. Either it's dubbed or it's subtitles. And it is very frustrating.
Was it Christina Klebs movie I watched and there was something wrong with my TV that day? And I thought the entire movie was dubbed.
But it was just your TV.
The lips weren't moving with the yeah. She said that wasn't dubbed. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway.
Anyway, so if this keeps happening, I mean, I'm just wondering, are you seeing that a lot of people are now talking about the Tubies and the freebies?
Absolutely. Horror fans are migrating to Tubi.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're leaving Netflix in the process. I don't know that. I have, you know, I could take it off my taxes, you know, hell with it. But Tubi, I'll put it this way: I've got people that do not have Shudder. You know, that's the other. Now I also have Shudder. It's a subset of.
I do too.
Yes.
Yeah, I have Shudder.
But yeah, I watch a lot of stuff on Tubi. I just watched Gotham. I watched the entire Gotham series on Tubi. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And did the commercials annoy you at all, or did you feel like it was fine, or did they really annoy you?
Name anything you can do without commercials anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's short of paying $30 and going to the movie theater. You know, it's so commercials I can put up with.
Okay.
Now, and they're better about it. Now, Tubi, if you want to, you want me to break it down? My problem with Tubi is the software sucks. As in, it will jump episodes. You'll watch like 5 episodes and you'll go to bed, come back tomorrow, and it'll say, "Oh, you want to watch episode 2 again?"
Oh, so we'll put you back to the right spot.
Right. I wish they would do a little work on that. Or it could be, you know, I'm on a Roku device. Who knows? It might be better on Prime or whatever.
I don't know. Okay.
So yeah.
Good to know.
But I haven't watched Shudder forever. Although I'm getting ready to. That's something I want to talk about when we come back from this break. I want to find out everybody's favorite Christmas movie, especially if they're weird and creepy. Okay. Everybody, Spirit Mechanics, spiritmechanics.com, 1018 East New Circle Road. That's right. The boys have moved into brick and mortar. The Missing Element Shop, the one-stop shop for spirit mechanics, Stevens, healing vibrations, metaphysical supplies, books, divination, altar supplies, tarot, oracle decks, handmade glassware, spirit boards, vibrational sound healings, compliments of Stevens healing vibrations. He uses tuning forks and singing bowls in his practice, and believe it or not, it works. I stand behind that statement. I last year I went in there and I could barely walk, and it helped me. Now it's vibration, people. It's vibration. It's one of those things that those of us in the paranormal field accept, and I think he has leveraged it quite well. Look him up online, spiritmechanics.com, or visit them in the real world, 1018 East New Circle Road. Now for our Bonehead Weekly Movie Review.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. This one's tough. It took me 3 nights to get through it, and this is a major Hollywood picture and made by a studio with the director who's made some movies I like. A couple of them not so much, but a couple of movies I like. For the people who really like this movie, you've got to tell me why. I can't figure it out. I finally made it through The Exorcist Believer 2023's. Directed by David Gordon Green. He's the guy that made the new Halloween trilogy, but he also gave us Pineapple Express and a couple other movies I like. But oh, this is dreadful, and it's got a 22% of Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm kind of, there's some people who I know who love horror, and they watched this and they were like, I don't understand why everybody's beating it up. It opens with this husband and wife in another country, and one of them suffers an earthquake with a wife, and we quickly learn that she doesn't make it, and the daughter did a few years later. And when his daughter and her friend Catherine, Angela and Catherine, they go off gallivanting, and then they're missing for a few days, and they all of a sudden they go into a tunnel. Never really explains any of that. Come back, and there we are. And now they're possessed by demons, and they've got to do an exorcism. And that's pretty much the plot. Don't understand how this movie, I just don't. It's lower budget, like a lot of the films, but here's an interesting thing. Warner Brothers owned The Exorcist, and Universal paid them some sort of, I think it was almost $400 million. Google this, I'm not wrong, for the rights to The Exorcist, for them to make this movie. I mean, that's before they even shoot anything. That's before they pay an actor, before they pay a writer, before they pay a director. They paid them $400 million to have access to make another Exorcist movie, and this is what they gave. This movie has several writers. It stars Leslie Odom Jr. It's not necessarily the acting as much as it's just awful. I truthfully need you all. They brought back Ellen Burstyn, who was the mom in the first movie. I know she didn't want to do it. Look this up. She actually took she held them ransom and then made them pay a certain amount of money, where she is one of the faculty at the Actors Studio in New York. They actually had to, Universal had to give the Actors Studio money for her to do this. I don't know why on earth they made this movie. It makes very little sense. It doesn't really explain a lot. It's clearly a bridge movie to set up a trilogy that we're probably never going to see, because this one's not very good. Some of it's creepy. Some of it's a little, I'm trying to find positive things, but I want to read you a critic. I want to read you a quote from William Friedkin, the original director of The Exorcist. Now, it's not been confirmed, but they say that this is true. He was talking to the film critic Ed Whitfield, and William Friedkin once said to me, Ed, the guy who made those new Halloween sequels, is about to make one to my movie, The Exorcist. That's right. My signature film was about to be extended by the man who made Pineapple Express. I don't want to be around when that happens, but if there's a spirit world and I can come back, I plan to possess David Gordon Green and make his life a living hell. Friedkin actually died 2 months before the movie was released. Like, there's a goof in the movie where in the credits, the Lamashtu is the demon, and when it seizes Chris McNeil, it says we've met before, but that's wrong because Pazuzu was the demon in the first one. I'm sorry. There's not much here for me to be positive about. I'm going to give things away because it's awful. If you do check it out, it's on Peacock. If you have Peacock, you can watch it now. I'm glad I didn't go see it in the theater because I kind of wanted to, but I kept reading awful things, but you try not to let people influence you, or at least I do. And obviously I'm trying to influence you all. Don't see The Exorcist Believer. It's on Peacock unless you're a huge Exorcist fan. And I'm truthfully want to know, if you're out there and you thought this was good and I am missing something, will you explain it to me? Because it took me 3 nights to get through it. 3 nights. Not engaging, no reason. The 2 little girls are fine. It's just a lousy story or a lousy movie. I don't understand. So if you could let me know what I'm missing. The Exorcist Believer is dreadful. Thank you so much. This has been Joe Lewis. In fact, Exorcist 2 is better than this. By the way, Exorcist 3, which was directed and written by William Peter Blatty, which is based on his novel Legion, that's the Exorcist sequel you should watch. Pretty good book. Almost exact. The movie's almost just like the book. Read the book, watch the movie. Exorcist 3, Brad Dourif.
We're back with more Scarefest TV, and as I teased, I want to know everybody's unconventional favorite Christmas movie. or conventional.
Well, for me, the one Christmas movie that I actually literally watch every single year is Christmas Vacation. Like that is
That's
the
a good
one
one. Yeah.
that I literally watch every year, hands down, no matter what. And we tease because we say we're the Griswolds. My brother says he's the Griswolds, but we actually have an RV and we'll be like, the Griswolds are coming. You know, like we've had so many similar experiences that the Griswolds have had that it's kind of fun to watch. But no, we watch it every year. Like that is my favorite for sure.
There's one we need to watch. Gremlins.
Huh? Oh
That's a Christmas movie.
Yep, that's a good one.
What about you, Joanna? What's your favorite unconventional Christmas movie?
Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Then you love me. I do a good Bad Santa. We almost watched Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
got to
but
do that.
I ran out.
I did Christmas. Watch Die Hard. Yep. This year my kids on Christmas Eve are with their dad. So we were like, what are we gonna do? I don't want to do anything like major. So we're like, let's order Chinese food and watch A Christmas Story. So we're totally doing that. We're ordering the Chinese food and gonna sing fa ra 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 and watch A Christmas Story. So we're excited about that.
I like that.
It's a good watch every year.
Yeah, I got to make it because actually, what has got me in the Christmas mood finally, because I'm not a big Christmas person. We didn't have children, so just basically it's me and my wife, and whatever we want, we go out and buy. I bought, for example, this week my Christmas present to myself was a Stream Deck, which I fucked up and broadcast myself setting it up by accident this week. Everybody, that's what happened. I was setting up my Stream Deck. But, but I started on, I love sharing memes on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I started using Christmas hashtags on them. And it's just fun coming up with Christmas hashtags.
Yeah.
To put on.
So give me, for example.
Well, like, how do you give an example of a meme? It's like Christmas gifts. Okay, simple hashtag, but people do use that hashtag. And like I had one, it was basically somebody taking an Easy Bake Oven ad and made it Easy Bake Crematorium. That was, and then I don't know if out in California you all have Harbor Freight, but somebody took an old Harbor Freight ad and changed the ads on it, and you could buy like a hand crank chainsaw. What else was on that thing? But it had a bunch of tools on it that were completely useless. And Christmas gift ideas. Yeah. I do Monday motivation. I always try to find one meme for Monday motivation. I don't call it demotivation, even though they usually are demotivation. I try to do that. But basically, I always share memes, but I decided if I'm going to share them, I'm going to give them exciting hashtags.
There you go. So, good.
I'm becoming a social media whiz. Although, okay, now here, this is actual real question that I had to ask my last guest, a young lady who did a film. And when I say young, I mean like fresh out of fucking high school young.
Yeah.
You embrace Facebook, obviously.
Yes.
You post every day. You use it. See, the new generation is leaving that to us folks.
Yeah. No, that's our generation. No young people use Facebook.
Now, what I was going to ask, have you embraced Instagram?
Oh yeah, I use Instagram for sure. That's my generation too. Instagram for sure. What I don't use is TikTok. I'm just
You would be great on TikTok.
I just don't like the political angle of it, so I stay away from it. Plus, it's for young people, and my fans aren't young. My fans are not young. My fans are
There's a political angle to TikTok?
You're just
Well, I don't want to get into politics, but China does own it.
Oh, yeah, okay, that political angle. Well.
I'm gonna say,
Oh,
yeah.
because Facebook is the paragon of virtue. I got you.
No, not either. Yeah.
No,
Definitely not,
what hit honestly the only, oh my God, I had no idea so many people were flat earthers until I started going on TikTok.
that they were what?
Flat earthers. They
I don't know what
believe the earth is flat. You remember that whole thing that was settled back with Christopher Columbus?
Wait, you're kidding, right? They don't
No.
really believe
It
because
is.
TikTok brainwashed them. That's why TikTok brainwashes people. I'm just saying, they're brainwashing the young generation. I don't let my kids go to TikTok.
Honestly, that would be the one reason to keep them off there, is because these people are passionate about it.
That's crazy.
See now,
And
Joanna, I would think you would embrace TikTok. You do
No,
your little,
I will not use it.
little reels and shit.
I can do reels on Facebook and Instagram. That's fine with me, but no, I don't touch TikTok either. Nope.
Yep.
See,
Good
I
girl.
don't put any content on, although I'm getting ready to, because now AI can take like this show tonight, and it will go through and it will edit us down to the individual interview questions and make little quote unquote snippets that could be viral.
Yeah.
And I've tried it doing it by hand, and I ain't got that kind of time. But
Yeah.
I can run it through AI, and it'll do it in like 15 minutes, the entire hour. Give me 30 different things. And I can put them on TikTok, and who knows? I might be the next TikTok sensation.
You could. You never know.
I actually do have some little short. Well, I shouldn't even call them short films. I mean, they're like short films that I do want to get, but I will not do them unless I can do them right. Because after watching your film, then I'd say, you know, I've got standards. I got people that expect stuff out of me.
That's right.
So, anyway, let's go ahead. Everybody, we've done all of our, did we get everything in tonight? I think we did. Go ahead, pull up my banner for next, now there is no episode, everybody, next week on Scarefest TV. There is no episode, okay? But on the 29th, the annual Scarefest TV holiday party was coming your way. Now, to show you how great AI is, this is what you get if you ask an AI program for Drunken Freddy Krueger. That's all it could come up with. It was
wow.
But
That's so cool.
I had it, so yeah. Go back to everybody. But 29th, we will be back on the air, and then everything will be. And first of the year, we start doing our celebrity announcements.
Oh, for next year's Scarefest?
Yes.
Already started. Oh, cool.
Yeah, we pretty much had to because everybody else has started, so we.
Wow.
Basically, we're on the radar, as they say, and we always start about now, but this year we're actually under the gun a little bit. In other words, the good, I shouldn't say the good celebrities, the celebrities we want, we're having to reach out to really, really early. And it's like, and everybody kind of knows the direction because we're not, see, we do this every week. We talk about the convention, and so we don't keep anything secret. And I think there's spies out there because they booked our celebrities that a couple that we wanted.
You got to snap up quick.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. So everybody, I do want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I want to thank Brande so much for coming on and doing this show tonight and putting up with our foolishness. And Joanna, as always, lovely and talented. And they're asking in the chat room, the holiday party episode basically means all my co-hosts are welcome to come online and actually drink liquor on the air.
Woohoo!
That's pretty much it.
And try not to get fired.
Yeah, and try not to get fired, which I've been told a few times. I came very close. Very close. Anyway, and then, of course, it's a tradition. It's a tradition. So, everybody, we will see you in a couple weeks. Once again, thanks to my guest and thanks to my co-host. And party on dudes.